It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured. The Celtics are NBA champions.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw this on my TV, I was going absolutely bananas. I'm talking screaming, crying, laughing, the whole 9 yards. In case you live under a rock though, the Celtics have just won their 18th NBA championship, which is a league record. And it's been a long time coming. For a franchise as legendary as the Celtics, having only one championship since the century began has been extremely depressing. Even more depressing than that though, as a fan, I don't even remember that 2008 run. As a kid growing up in New Jersey, it was always bizarre to my friends and family hearing that I was a diehard Boston sports fan. They always ask me, what went wrong? Or, how could you possibly root for Boston? It's quite simple actually. My parents used to take me to Boston when I was younger to visit and learn about one of the most historic cities in the country, and with Sundays being dedicated to football, Tom Brady became a bit of a personal hero. Watching Brady pick apart defenses, the reign of the Patriots defense led by Bill Belichick, and the numerous clutch moments, it all made quite the impression on me. And my dad also loved the Red Sox. He has consistently told me about the curse-breaking 2003 squad, which I know everything about now thanks to him. Honestly, I only got into hockey recently, and of course, I root for the Bruins. As for the Celtics, well, they weren't dominant, and they were legendary, but not in recent history like the Patriots. When it comes to basketball, my dad only ever talks about Jordan and the Bulls and how he's the greatest. So how the hell did I end up a fan of this team? Growing up as an Asian American, sports and I didn't really mix well at first. I loved watching football on Sundays, and everyone around me would talk about the Yankees. However, I do have to admit, I used to think I was relegated to math and science as a kid. In school, I had a couple of friends who loved basketball, but I never felt like I fit in when I would play with them. And then one day, while I was just doing my homework, this guy showed up on the TV. I vividly remember watching Insanity play out, and his legendary run was the talk of the town. Jeremy Lin's legendary performance over those few weeks really got me into basketball, and today it's one of the best things I've ever seen in the world of sports. However, I couldn't possibly root for a New York team. I was a fan of the Patriots, the Red Sox. So in an attempt to remain on brand, I adopted the Celtics as my favorite NBA team. My gosh, I swear, being a fan of this team has not been easy at all. I used to think that Kelly Olynyk was going to save this team. I thought Avery Bradley was the best player the game has ever seen, or Terry Rozier was the best player of all time. I thought Aaron Baines and Daniel Tice were peak front court. I was unlucky enough to purchase a Gordon Hayward jersey, wear it on his debut night, and I thought that Kyrie Irving was going to raise a banner in Boston. Oh, and on top of all of that, my team continued to be dominated by some dude from Ohio. In recent years, it felt like Boston and Miami were starting to form a big rivalry in the East. It's been highs and lows, but goddamn, seeing this team go and win it all has been so cool. Just because as fans, we've been able to see the Jays grow and evolve into superstars. Derek White becoming one of the best defensive guards in the league has been unreal. Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis coming in, fitting in seamlessly, convinced me from the very start that this team was going to make at least the Eastern Conference Final. At least. And of course, seeing Al Horford win a ring in his 17th NBA season is enough to make a grown man cry. I know everyone says that the Celtics are some sort of super team, that they had 5 All-Stars, they had the easiest path to the finals, blah blah blah, who cares? They only lost 3 playoff games. They played great defense, and they had to play around one of their starters being injured for most of the playoffs. They coasted past some genuine superstars. Last time I checked, Donovan Mitchell is still a superstar, and Tyrese Halliburton is one of the premier young talents in the league. And Luka Doncic is still Luka Doncic. The narratives of the media have tried so hard to discount the fact that this team was historically great. Do you remember when they said Tatum and Brown needed to be split up, that they needed to trade for Bradley Beal or go get KD? They said that neither of them could possibly finish the job. Sure, Tatum had some poor shooting nights, but he was still creating offense. He was playing great defense too. Jaylen Brown has been criticized all season for being the most overpaid player in the league, a player who can't go left. Now he's Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP. Kristaps was injury prone. Sure, he got injured a little bit, but you know what? He had such a great impact on this team and he gave it his all, and he was the reason this team won a bunch of games. I truly believe that Jrue Holiday and Derek White are the best defensive guards in the league, and it would be impossible for you to convince me otherwise. And let's talk about senior citizen Al Horford, who was playing his ass off. A man who sacrificed his spot in the starting five to let Porzingis come in so that they could all collectively be champions. Peyton Pritchard is quite literally a half-court sniper. The two half-court buzzer beaters were enough to make me convinced that this is one of the greatest teams of all time. Sam Hauser had some rough shooting nights, but he would bounce back and drill some well-needed shots. And my god, Joe Mazzulla, this guy has been through the ringer in terms of media criticism. Some people said he had to be fired from the beginning of the season. People still think he has to be fired. You know what? He's the youngest head coach to win the NBA Finals since Bill Russell now. He made all the right adjustments, had all the right game plans, and motivated this team to get across the finish line. He's also an absolute sicko. And we all know who the real MVP is. Brad Stevens. Honestly, I had a feeling that Stevens was going to be great when he moved to the front office, but I had no idea that he was going to construct one of the best starting fives the game of basketball has ever seen. He was a fantastic coach, but being the architect of Banner 18 has proven that he is an even better executive. The best part about all this, assuming that Tatum and Derek White sign their extensions, which they probably will, is that this team is going to stay together for at least the next few years. Everyone except Al Horford, of course, given that he's entering the final year of his contract and he's definitely in the twilight of his career. I'm not going to make any bold statements, but here's a bold statement. I think we could be seeing the birth of a new dynasty. Tatum and Brown are only going to get better. People often forget how young they are, given the amount of playoff games they've already played together. Porzingis is never going to be someone you can rely on, but if they can get some more depth at center, it shouldn't be a problem. Jrue Holiday has been a defensive anchor. They don't even have to rely on him offensively, and they got him for another few years too. Derek White has provided so much on both ends of the court. He's also only 29 years old. Peyton Pritchard is around for at least another couple of years, which means you have an automatic bucket when it comes to half-court buzzer beaters. You still have Jordan Walsh, who you just drafted, the guy who plays crazy defense, and if he works out, they might have just drafted a hidden gem. I will say though, the money situation is definitely going to be interesting. There's something about the new CBA that restricts the longevity of super teams, but if the core remains, this team is going to be a contender for the next few years. Gone are the days when I thought Kemba Walker would be a Celtics Hall of Famer, or when Jonas Jerebko was my favorite player for some godforsaken reason. I have to admit, there was a small part of me that thought I was going to live my entire life not seeing this team win another ring, because for so long they had gotten so close and just fell short by this much. And you know what? I don't have to be scared of LeBron or Jimmy Butler anymore, or the Miami Heat in general. It doesn't matter. The Celtics have finally won the ring. I watched every game the last few seasons. I'm talking every single game, because I knew that Tatum and Brown were going to get a ring. I just didn't know when. But it's finally happened, and I couldn't possibly be happier. So let me know what you guys think. Is this a one and done thing? Are the Celtics going to be a dynasty? Or are they going to break up the core? What's going to happen? I don't know. But let me know your thoughts. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. You have a great day.
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
We did it! Oh my God, we did it!